GM's been wrong over history.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. All right, bro. We up. We up. Go ahead, JD.
I'm not physically there, so
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know whether you have.
I gotta start. I gotta give you I
You
gotta
don't
give
learn
you the
how to
thumbs
use
up.
your hands or signals or something of that nature.
All
All
right, we
right,
up on it.
all right. We're back with another episode of the Argon Brothers podcast, fellas. How you doing today?
We good, baby.
Staying light and easy, doing my
Okay,
normal, sitting in the parking lot, waiting for the kid, you know.
sounds good. Sounds interesting. Great, Keon.
Gucci.
Again, pinged. All right, yeah, man. So that's good, man. Oh man, so we got a lot of talks about today.
Yeah, a lot
Um,
going on.
a lot of going on sports wise. Let's start out with the NFL draft today. Big swings out there. We all saw what happened with the first two picks, kind of with CJ Stroud going second and Bryce Young going first. But let's talk a little bit about what was your thoughts when you saw Richardson getting drafted, at the fourth position, going to the Indianapolis Colts. Ray, start us off, man. What was your thoughts on that?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he had all the talent in the world. I think they got going to Minshew to kind of be that bridge for him, so he don't have to start day one. But it's a developmental pick. Even at Florida, he wasn't the most accurate. But now in today's NFL, bro, you got to be mobile. You got to be able to make throws on the run, and he can give you that. He just got to work on his accuracy. But I think getting Gardner Minshew, who can hold it down for at least the first season until he work on what he need to work on with his accuracy. But and Frank Wright, bro, he's a great quarterback coach, bro. He's shown it with Carson Wentz his first couple years. And so I think it's a great spot for him with Frank Wright.
He's not
No,
the
not
coach.
Frank, not
He's
Frank,
not
not
the
Frank. I'm
coach.
tripping. Yeah, I forgot. You forgot. But yeah, I like the situation for him. I just think he need to sit for a year under Gardner Minshew to work on his accuracy. But I'm not surprised with the pick though. Too much talent.
Key man, go next, man.
Um, yeah, dude was probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks coming out the league, which to me, I think this is gonna be a great class of quarterbacks. I think what the most quarterbacks been drafted this year in probably the last 7, 8 years. It's a D quarterback class. Think dude got time to don't rush him. Take first half of the season off. Bring him midpoint, and I think dude can be a good quarterback. Especially right now when you need mobile quarterbacks who can buy time in the pocket. Who can prolong plays. Dude show played in a strong SEC last year. He was did well against top defenses. So I think they actually got a steal getting them that late. So it was a great pickup.
Man, y'all, what the hell y'all was watching? Because if y'all watch Florida football, he showed phases. Like he played good against Utah at the beginning of the season, but throughout the season, he was inconsistent. He wasn't. You can look at him on the field and show that he wasn't being a leader. He showed up every now and then. I'm surprised about the pick. Now, when he went to the draft, went to the combine. He showed better accuracy on his pro day at the combine. He's a physical specimen. He was 6'4", 240. So he has the frame. He has a great upside to him. But for what he did in college, I kind of wonder about that pick because he didn't show the consistency that you would want for a top 5 pick as a quarterback. He didn't show the consistency like a Bryce Young. He didn't show the consistency of my man down that went to the Texans. He didn't show that. Him and Will Levis was about the same. But I mean, what would make him better is he's going to need a good quarterback coach, because being accurate, that's on you, and you're going to have to get better at that in the NFL, or you're going to look how he looked in college. He didn't look the best in college.
So you think they should have picked Levis? So you should have picked Levis?
I don't think you need to pick neither one of them. But guess what? You need a quarterback, but this is the thing. You got to realize, okay, how much work are you going to have to do with this guy? Like if you don't have a good quarterback coach, and you got to think, the Indianapolis coach got a brand new coach. Gardner Minshew ain't the best thing that could be in front of him that can really show him the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's been in the league for a minute, but how much do you trust him to teach this guy?
Do you think that he's? I mean, we all thinking that he has time, but I'm kind of understanding that there's a possibility he probably may stay. He may play day one. He may start day one.
That's what I'm saying.
That could be a chance. Like, you don't draft a quarterback that high to just have him sitting on the sideline for holding a clipboard for the remainder of the season. I mean, you would look at him like you looked at Cam Newton when he came in, and you put him out there.
And especially for a Gardner Minshew, I'm looking like, I'm like, wait a minute. So I think the new coach that left Philly to go to Indianapolis, he has a real big decision to make. Now, if the running back is healthy and they get that running game going, and you can protect them, if you do start him and you can protect them with the running game, give him easy throws, because Indianapolis got a good core of young receivers that's up and coming. So if you can do that and protect them, then he should be all right. But I'm surprised about the pick. But at the same time, he do have some upside. But the accuracy, he has to fix that, and that comes with you watching film, doing what you got to do. But you always got to have that good quarterback coach to get him through that. So we'll see.
Oh man, for myself, I was a little surprised by it because it seemed to be, once you got past C.J. Stroud, it was a kind of a talent drop off between the third and the fourth and the fifth best quarterbacks. So, knowing they put him, they drafted him fourth, I thought it was a reach. I don't think they could have probably traded down, maybe got him. I don't think I'm not sure who was out there in the Richardson sweepstakes, because if you look at like Seattle, it seemed like Seattle had figured out they weren't gonna go with a quarterback. They feel like they were gonna go corner, and then eventually I think they ended up getting a receiver. So it seemed like everybody had an idea of like they wanted to grab some talent, but it wasn't necessarily the quarterback position. I think the only teams that were in great need this season, the top 10 especially, was just them, just with Indianapolis and Carolina and Houston. It seemed like they knew they needed a quarterback, but everybody else figured out like, hey, I'm not going to make a move until they have to. Tennessee decided to wait to the second round. So it seems like to me, like, I thought it was a stretch. I did think it was a stretch to grab him at 4. But, if you feel like he's the guy, you go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel like he's your future, you go get him. I mean, the guy, from a physical standpoint, he's a specimen.
Yeah,
the accuracy thing. But I think my issue is, I'm afraid that they're trying to use Josh Allen as the comp, and that may be unfair because Josh Allen never played with talent like he's had at Florida. So to me, that's like that's hard to really determine, knowing that Josh Allen just never had the talent he had at the University of Florida. So it's kind of like, what was keeping him from breaking that ceiling that he was at, right? Was it play calling? Was it, inaccuracies, right? Was it, not really being great at diagnosing coverages? Like, what was keeping you from having that monster 3 years or 2 years there, right? What was keeping Jones on the field at times when he was out there playing? Because Emory Jones was playing too for a little bit till he transferred.
Yeah.
So what was keeping Richardson off the field when Emory Jones was playing? Like, that's the things I'm seeing. I'm like, man, okay, well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out this season. But it's just interesting to see how they try to they create this notion that like he's their guy. But even though the owner went on Twitter and put up like a poll on who should they draft, Levis or Richardson. So I was just a little bit shocked by that. But it's gonna be interesting to see how he navigates himself through Indiana, because they need to go young at quarterback. I mean, they've been having some statues.
Yeah.
I mean, Pay with his Rivers, whether it was Matt Ryan, Carson, all them statues just sitting in there, and they had one of the best old lines, and still getting things done. So, man, I'm interested to see how that works out for them.
Yeah, they need Jonathan Taylor to get back to the 2 years ago.
Exactly.
They need him.
So right now, who you feel has got right now at this moment? Who you feel is having the best draft so far?
Houston, bro. They got 2 game changers. I mean, they were a scrappy team last year. Like, they were in a lot of games and they lost a lot of close ones. But when you got a quarterback that can make all the throws, as can compete, Will Anderson, I think, is a game changer on defense. You just need a couple pieces. And, getting D'Amico Ryans as the head coach, he's going to come with that hard-hat defensive mentality. It has to be Houston, bro. I mean, you gave up a lot to move up to 3 to get Anderson, but if it all pans out, none of that matters, right?
Yeah.
You need two guys. They got 2 guys that will be there for the next 10 to 12 years, guaranteed, right? And then they already got a decent team. They just were scrappy. They just didn't have the quarterback. Like David Mills was all right, but he just wasn't good enough to put him over the hump, and that's why they lost a lot of games. But I love what Houston did.
Yeah, do Ray got a slap on the shoulder or something, man? Like,
I ain't know.
Boy, daydreaming, man.
I ain't know.
He daydreaming about his Lakers, man.
I ain't know what order was going in.
You see, he got his Knicks colors on, bro. You're a Knicks fan tonight.
But I like what Philly did. With the D line. They already. I just like what Philly doing. And they trying to dominate you up on the D line. They saw last year that in the Super Bowl. As you talk about their defense, they really didn't get pressure on Mahomes. So they went and added more depth to their D line. And it could have been the field while they wasn't getting pressure, but I like what Philly did in the draft.
I agree with Ray. Houston, like you said, Houston did a great job. I think Philly did a great job as well because they needed to replace Hargrave, who they lost. They lost a couple of guys on the D line, so they did try to replace that with the big guy from Georgia and bringing in other players. But I think Houston, with Will Allen and old boy from Ohio State, they got things that they needed. And Will Allen, he's gonna be that guy. Like this guy he's proven that he can rush the passer. No matter what size the offensive lineman is, he finds a way to get after the passer. He makes tackles. He can get to the flats and cover. So they got somebody that's going to be an every down player, and he's available. He's available. And like I said, D'Amico Ryans, he's in a good position, and they had a pretty good team last year, but they just missing a couple of pieces to get them over the hump. Like I said, David Mills, he was a good fill-in, but that's not who they need at quarterback. And I think CJ is going to be the perfect person they need. Like I say, you're going to have a good quarterback, have a good offensive scheme where he can do the play action. You got to have receivers. If you don't have receivers, it's not going to work. But overall, I think Houston's in a good position to be better in that division. And they could be second in the division. I do think Jacksonville is going to win the division. But I think Houston can be second in that division.
Oh, yeah, I think Houston's had a solid draft. Be honest with you, if I'm looking at how I'm looking at, I think Seattle's had a great draft. Top 5 corner, probably a top 15 receiver. Baltimore's draft has been impeccable as well. You sign Lamar, you get Zay Flowers, right? You got Bateman, Zay Flowers, and OBJ all in receiving room. That's a lot better than you was last year.
And they picked up Nelson Aguilar too.
Yeah, they got. Well, come on, man.
Come on, man. Like, man, you be bringing in the most random dudes. Like, oh, yeah, they picked the real Like,
no,
man,
but that's
man. Come on, man.
But you got somebody that you can put in the slot to where Bateman them don't have to go to the slot.
Yeah, that's gonna be Zay Flowers. There ain't gonna be no damn Nelson Elliott, man. Like, come on, man. Nobody want to hear that, bro. Anyway, I think they gave a great move. I'm not sure what's going on with Philly and this University of Georgia they trying to create over there.
Everybody.
But I do like the trade with Swift. Now you got a I don't know I think he was a Pro Bowler.
You gotta stay healthy, bro.
A Pro Bowler running back who can catch the ball out the backfield, like a home run hitter because he's fast, he's quick. They need a running back because they didn't re-sign Miles Sanders.
Yep.
So good decision on them. They got some interior help. They got a top 5, top 10 talent in Carter, right? And they got some guys as far as cornerbacks. They know they're going to be letting go. What's the name? Probably next year. Darius Slay. They're probably going to let go so Ringo can take a year to get himself together. Ringo was good to me at times. And then I saw games where he was that great. And a lot of times I think a lot of people felt like it was the D-line that allowed him to be as aggressive or to make the plays that he was playing because the quarterback ain't going to have a lot of time because Georgia's going to get there on the blitz or they get there with their front four. And so when teams had time to throw on him, I Bama in the SEC championship game, and when you got to get some elite receiver like Jameis Williams, he had a tough time. Same thing in the Ohio State game when he gets an elite receiver like Marvin Harris Jr., he had a tough time. So it's just one of those things where, but I still feel like that's a good pick overall. I'll go later. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I feel like it's a good pick overall. So listen, I do like what Philly did. I'll tell you before, I like what Atlanta did, in my opinion, because I like the fact that we need to find out what Ritter's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Ritter, whatever we want to call him, we got to figure out what type of quarterback we have. You got elite talent 2 years ago with Pitts, an elite talent with the receiver. Now you got him an elite running back. If he sucks, we can get rid of him at the end of the season.
Man.
Easy, cheap cut, ain't gonna matter. You either put him on the bench or you get rid of him. And then you go and get a stellar quarterback coming out of the draft because you have more capital now. So I like that move. I like the corner they draft. I think, and they got more online help in the second round. I like that as well. I didn't like that they gave up a pick for it, but I did like the fact that they were able to make these moves so they can figure out what we got as far as in quarterback position. Because even though he's a second round, like a third round pick, we gotta make a decision. We gotta make a decision. He's the guy. You know what I mean? On paper, in my opinion, I've said before, he's probably the third or fourth best quarterback in the NFC South. But if you put the right talent around him, we can have the best offense because the talent is really good. It's just gonna be whether he can maximize it or not. So yeah, I like those decisions, man. I like what they're trying to do there. I feel like that's a good deal. Any additional?
You back on that bandwagon now? You back on that Atlanta bandwagon?
I've never fell off. I'm just not a person that I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit around and watch team that I know needs to go into the draft and get a quarterback. Like what am I wasting my time for? I got a lot of things to do on Sundays. Why do I need to sit there at 4:15 sitting there watching a team that I know is not good enough to beat certain teams or not good enough in general? Like,
okay, just making sure. Just making sure you're back on the bandwagon, though.
I've never fell off the bandwagon for the Falcons. I'm just smart enough to understand I got other things to do with my time. That's all that is. That's all it is, man. Any additional thoughts, man?
Nah.
Text. Okay. All right. My bad with that. Got this Councilman dude calling. So let's get to the next topic on there. There it is. All right. So let's talk about A-Rod, man. Like A-Rod is now a Jet. He's gonna wear number 8. That's gonna be crazy. In the reported news, he is decided that he's gonna stay, and he's gonna not particularly stay, but of course he's gonna stay in New York. But in the news, they're saying that he's gonna be a full participant of camp and everything. We all know A-Rod did not like coming to camp, so this is gonna be a little different. Ray, start us off again, man. Like, what's your thoughts on A-Rod being traded to the Jets?
I mean, it's good for the Jets. They needed some star power. They have a very young, nice team that they feel that they can win now and compete for a championship. But I think Aaron Rodgers' elite days are over. I think he had a better team in Green Bay, especially from a running game standpoint. He had some young receivers that he was very frustrated with early in the year, and I don't see that changing with the Jets. Gary Wilson is nice. They picked up Lazard. Hell, you didn't use Lazard in Green Bay like they should have. So for me, he's in a tough AFC, bro. And there are a lot more elite quarterbacks, in my opinion. They will make the playoffs, but they're not winning the division. So, but overall, I think it's good for the Jets. They putting their chips all in one basket. They going for it, and I don't have no problem with it because you got to try to win. You got to try to win now. They got about a 2-3 year window with A-Rod, and if it don't, then you got to reset, bro. Because if you don't have no quarterback at that point, bro, you're done. So it don't move the needle me from honestly, bro. But I don't think A-Rod is the A-Rod no more. I think he's done.
I think it was a good trade for Green Bay and the Jets. Both, it was time to move on. What I think about the trade getting A-Rod, you're gonna probably win a lot of regular season games with him. Because they got some talented pieces at receiver. So how he gonna be able to handle, because we all know he moody. How he gonna be able to handle that New York press when you're having a bad game? So definitely gonna be, even Green Bay is one of the powerhouse, but their media in New York is different. And but what I think about the trade, it was something just had to been done. Because Green Bay had to see what they have in the quarterback that they, gave up a lot to get. So but we all saw it coming, but I don't think too much of it.
Well, for the city of New York and to bring some more excitement to the Jets football is big. That's a big thing. I think the trade works out. We don't know if it worked out for everybody yet until they start playing and where it goes. Now he's coming to the AFC where, like Ray said, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there, and that AFC, you might win 11 or 12 games this year, and you might not get in the playoffs. You just might not get in the playoffs there because you got Kansas City who's strong. You got the Raiders that's going to be better. Chargers going to be better. Cincinnati, the Ravens. You only got 7 spots, bro. Cleveland going to be better. Yeah. And you over there with Josh Allen, the Buffalo, Miami. They're making some upgrades to their team. So, I mean, you might, just because they got A-Rod, that don't mean it's an automatic playoff thing. Mm-hmm. And the thing of it is, you got to have health. Health is the biggest thing. And I think with A-Rod coming to the team, yeah, he's going to be better. But mentally, can A-Rod mentally withstand all the stuff that's going to come with being in New York? And that's going to be a big part of it. I think they got a great coach. They was in a lot of games this year. They just played well as a team this year. Now, it's good that A-Rod is going to camp because that lets me know right there, okay, he wants to win.
Man, what else he supposed to say? No, I'm not showing up. Man, come on. Oh, you got to go.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, everybody know how A-Rod is. A-Rod has these moments, but nah, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. And everybody else paid for it as a team. Period. So at the same time, he as a person has to realize it's a fresh start, but he's going to a place, like he said earlier, the media is a dog. So you can't come out there talking about you throwing 3 and 4 picks and ain't nobody going to say nothing and the media ain't going to get on you. That's out of the question. Because like the whole city, every Jets fan is putting all their eggs into one basket, feeling like he's the savior. Like he's going to get them to the Super Bowl. And I think that's where they need to taper back their expectations and let the season play out.
I mean, I think I'm in agreement with everybody. I think it was a good decision. I mean, the Jets had to make a move. Wasn't it really a hard decision? I don't think they gave up much either. I think they traded picks. They gave a couple picks here and there. Additional picks late in the draft. Nothing next year. If the Jets get to the playoffs and they win, and here's the deal, the Jets just want to get to the playoffs. I mean, they're sort of like the little brother of the Giants. They share the same stadium. The Giants tend to be They both have a good fan base, a great supportive fan base. But I mean, the Giants tend to be the outlier when it comes to that, to that city, to the area. So you have to make a move. You need to make a splash move to kind of generate some buzz for this particular team, who, by the way, has a lot of talent, a lot of good defensive and offensive talent. So, we're gonna find out about the coach. Is he the guy? What moves he makes is gonna make a lot of sense. We're gonna find out on that end. We're gonna find out a lot of different things, and I think the bigger storyline gonna be is the was it Zach Wilson? Is he gonna make Aaron Rodgers' life hell? You know what I mean? Because he made that comment that they bring in another quarterback, a new starter. What's gonna happen? So I think that is, to me, the bigger storyline.
The scout team. He gonna
right?
be a scout team.
Is he gonna make that life a living hell? That, to me, is a bigger story than anything else I can see. Because I don't see anything else being, outside of that. Well, I don't see anything else. I mean, it's going to be pretty much, they pretty much going to be hinging on the running game, and play action passes. And, if A-Rock can get the ball down the field, but you all said it correctly. There's a lot of talent in the AOC. There's a lot of quarterback talent in the AFC. It's a lot of quarterback talent in the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know he can win his own division.
Facts.
That's gonna be tough. The division's gonna be tough.
Miami,
everything else, that division's gonna be tough to win. I mean, he comes in, he's the second best quarterback.
I'll give him a second.
You know what I mean? Josh Allen's gonna be first.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough, bro. And then you look at Miami, probably got better offensive talent.
Yeah, they defense loaded.
I don't presume that this team. We can start off. You give me your thoughts on this. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team.
Oh, hell no.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Mm-mm.
Not as is. They're gonna have to make some another moves. I mean, I don't see them coming up being the winner of the AFC. No, I don't see them being a Super Bowl contender. I just can't see it just because the A-Rod there. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's too many teams they got to get through. Like Miami gonna be better if Tua can stay healthy. Adding Jalen Ramsey, Buffalo gonna be right back there. I think Cleveland's gonna be better. I think another year with Deshaun playing well, now getting a year under his belt, just playing. Shit, the Ravens gonna be better. Joe Burrow and them gonna be right back there again. Shit, that's just then Trevor Lawrence getting better, right? Calvin Ridley coming back. That's just gonna add more to their offense.
So it's a lot of
City,
talent.
the Chargers, the AFC is loaded. It's no longer he can dominate the NFC like he did in Green Bay that he think he can do in the AFC. It's just not gonna work. Just not gonna work, bro.
I just don't see it happen.
This shit is a gauntlet.
It's gonna be tough, bro. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they definitely not a Super Bowl team, shit. Because I don't trust him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When the last time he had a great playoff run? You got to depend on him in the playoffs. He ain't getting no younger.
And then
over there, you're gonna have to make plays. You're gonna have to score. You have to keep up. And we ain't even talking about Denver. Shit, they gonna be better with Sean Payton. You know what I'm saying? Russ under his tutelage and not gonna be able to do what he want to do because he a no sense coach. You gotta think about they gonna win probably 10 games, 11 games. So they definitely not a Super Bowl contender. Yeah. Huh?
You're gonna have to win at least 12 games in the playoffs. You're gonna have to at least go 12-5. But just like you said, Miami with Tua, if Tua can stay healthy, and they're talking about Dalvin Cook wanting to go to Miami. So if he can get down there, then that takes on another situation.
Yeah.
So now you got Tua. If Miami can take care of Tua, okay, now you got to deal with Miami. You got Josh Allen and them who had a year where they were injuries and really put a damper on their whole Super Bowl run because they had a lot of pressure coming down the stretch. Okay, now you got to deal with, like you say, Sean Payton in Denver. Okay, KC. The Raiders ain't going to be bad. Justin Herbert them going to get better if their coach don't stink it up. You know, I'm telling you, he has a hard way to go. And like JV just said, we're going to see about the coach. Can the coach make the difference in getting them to where they need to be? Can he make the right movement? because like he's going to have to make more moves. It can't just be we got A-Rod and we signed a couple of people from Green Bay and that's our team. You got to figure out other ways because as the season goes and as the season, gets better and people with OTAs and people getting cut and people getting moved, you're going to have to add some more pieces. The defense is good, but you're still going to need some more pieces. The offense is okay. You got decent receivers, but what other moves that you're going to make that's going to benefit you down the road? So I just think it's going to be hard. He might make the playoffs. The Jets might make the playoffs, and that's a big M because it's so many teams out there who's already established and already ready to go that it's going to be tough. That AFC, whoever come out that AFC, they earned it.
Yeah, they earned it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, man. Like I said, man. I mean, we just regurgitating what we said earlier. It's just gonna be a lot of, I think a lot of teams are gonna beat up on each other, and it's gonna be how it kind of was this past season when you had, a team like a Philly in the NFCs that kind of ran through their gauntlet with 14-3 or 15-2 and kind of, made their way to the Super Bowl, but the AFC kind of beating each other throughout the process so they got to the end. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to see how this works. It's good that he's there, though. I mean, it's going to be something to see. But for the most part, man, I don't think that even makes them nowhere near the favorite. So, he's going to really have to get out here and hopefully they can make another move, get some more talent in there. So that everything else will depend on A-Rod. But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough in the AFC. All right, man, let's get to the NBA basketball. Enough NFL talk. Let's do a quick recap of what we saw this past weekend or this past week. Starting off with the Bucks versus the Heat. We'll jump right into it. We all saw what happened. Epic collapse. I can't call it collapse. I mean, at the end of the day, Miami outplayed them. So I don't want to call that epic collapse. Miami beat them 4-1. So we're gonna start off, and Key, you start this off so you get your head around it. Right now that it's been like a couple of days, would you fire Coach Bud, knowing that was just what happened and the way they lost this past series? Would you let him go?
Nah, I wouldn't let him go, but because he wasn't just the sole reason they lost this series. You know what I'm saying? He definitely had some questionable calls where he didn't make adjustments, playing, double teaming Jimmy or taking the ball out of his hand. But it was a multiple reason, as a team, a veterans team too, you giving up, which I would call a collapse. You giving up 15-point, 16-point lead with 5 minutes, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So, especially being the number one seed, you're going against a depleted Miami Heat team that really couldn't even score all fucking year. And y'all got 3 of the top defensive dudes on your team, and you pretty well let one man beat you, really, just punked you. So, like Jimmy stole their lunch money and said, what you gonna do about it? And nobody wanted to come get their money back. And so I wouldn't fire you, Bud. But definitely, bro, you on the hot seat, bro. You did win a chip, 2 years ago? Because if you fire him, who you gonna go get? You just can't just be quick to be emotional and be like, you know what, you're fired. And you got to get our hats out to Spurs, bro. They always played. When this series started, I said it was gonna be a tough series because they just match up well with the Bucks. Because they got length, they got dogs on that team. They can build a wall against Giannis. You know what I'm saying? They show his flaws when they play him. They make him more of a, guy not just bullying into the basket to get dunks. They making him have to shoot. And so I just knew going into the series, didn't think they'll beat them 4-1. But I did went into the series saying it was to be a tough series with Coach Sproul, bro, who's arguably one of the best coaches in the league, top 1 or 2, if you want to go him or Ty Lue. So yeah, definitely I wouldn't fire him this year. And I think Milwaukee got to add a few more pieces, bro, that that can go get a bucket down the stretch other than Middleton. Because to me, when it's time to get a bucket on the line, Middleton is your go-to guy. And they just need another go-to guy when all fell and done, a minute or two left. You just need to go get a bucket. They really don't have that other than in Middleton.
Yeah, I wouldn't fire him, but if I'm ownership, bro, I'm putting him on the hot seat. Like how many times we talked about Coach Bud never making adjustments, playing two bigs, and at the end of the day, bro, you can see Giannis' frustration in the interview at the end. Like, no way one player should win the entire series by themselves without you making no adjustments to try to stop this dude. Bro, you're not trapping him hard on a double team. You're not forcing him to get the ball out of his hand. Miami was missing Tyler Hero, and I get it. Giannis missed pretty much 3 games, right? But like I said, you blowing leads, like unacceptable when you can't count Lopez, but they got 3 players that's gonna make all defensive teams.
Oh, Lopez all defense.
Right, I'm saying, but he's not gonna guard Jimmy, right?
No.
Right, but and Middleton is no slouch. Like between the 3, and if I'm Giannis, bro, I don't care what Bud says. I got Jimmy. You have that much clout and respect on your team. I got him. Drew, you go. I got him. And I think Giannis would have gave him length because it's not like Jimmy gonna blow by you off the dribble. And if Jimmy hot, look, just make him work. Jimmy was getting easy shots. Jimmy was hitting his 3. Like it was just, he made it too easy, bro. But if I'm the ownership group, Bud, you're on the hot seat, dog. Like, bro, I'm tired of. And Jay, you always talked about like Bud not making no coaching adjustments. Like Bud just don't make it. Like, how many times we gonna keep saying that? And you can't live in the past. You got to live in the moment, in the current. There's a lot of young, good coaches that can probably break Milwaukee to the next level. Who knows, right? It's a chance you would take if you do let him go. But at the same time, we can't keep saying every year, man, Bud don't make no adjustments. But at the end of the day, you can't let Jimmy Butler win the whole entire series by itself, bro. Like, they were the lowest scoring team in the regular season. The lowest scoring. That's ridiculous, bro. And them boys scoring like 130, 140. It's unacceptable, bro. Unacceptable. But he on the hot seat for me.
Man, let's stop. Let's quit beating around the bush. Bud can't coach. JD been saying this for the longest. Let's just be honest. Bud needs to go. Bro, you cannot be the number 1 seed and have and not play to the potential. Now I get it. Giannis only played down there, 2 games? That's it. 2 games. So that was a big difference, in the series. Miami, they only lost Tyler Hero, so they ain't really wasn't that much depleted. I mean, he's not consistent every night, but I mean, he give you what he
gives. Yeah, number 20.
But I'm just saying, you ain't worried about him more than you worry about Jimmy Butler. Like,
he's the second best scorer. You talking about being depleted?
They not depleted.
Donovan, take the football, man.
Hold on. If that's the case, how they scoring over 100 points? They wasn't that depleted.
They let one man score 50 a night. Shit, he probably averaged 45 in that series.
Saying, they wasn't more depleted than the Bucks when Giannis didn't play.
I get it, but at the same time, bro. But Miami always struggled to score, and then when you lose your second best scorer.
But this is the thing: Miami always matched up well with the Bucks, no matter what.
I get it. But you can't let Jimmy beat you, though, dog.
I just think Bud needs to go. I think, really, truly, I would trade Middleton.
We'll talk about it.
I would trade Middleton, and because I think Middleton is not consistent enough. I think for the past couple of years, when it's time for you will get one good game out of Middleton, but then you won't see Middleton for another 2 or 3 games. I think I would trade Middleton, and Giannis has to make free throws. He missed 12.
He normally been doing well though.
Hey, but he normally been doing well. But I think Bud don't make adjustments. I think they got careless with the ball when they was up in Miami, and I just think you got to put. If Giannis been one of the best defensive players, you put him on Jimmy. You have to put him on Jimmy.
No, Giannis can put himself on Jimmy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can.
Just fuck that. You don't need Bud to tell you, bro, let me go guard him. Should they do that in Pee Wee? Coach, let me go guard him.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I don't. But Giannis, to me, Giannis' personality It's not that. Giannis is going to listen to what the coach tells him to do. Now, is that right?
Man, look, and that's why his dad's at home.
Hold on, but that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. He should have took control of the game. I'm agreeing with. He should have took the control of the game and said, you know what? I got Jimmy for the rest of the game. And then you play it out from there. But before Bud still being there, man, you can find somebody else. I think Bud needs to go. Because we have been making excuses for Bud all this time, but Bud needs to go. Period. He just needs to go. Yeah. And I think they need to trade Middleton and get some more and get something else. Get some more pieces around Giannis.
Man, shit, boy. Y'all are here just talking and talking and talking and talking. And to be very transparent, I've said this 1,000 times. Bud being fired, which I would, if the question is to let Bud go, yes. Bud being fired, for me, the issue would be more on just one example. Even when Jimmy hit that shot and tied the game, he had a timeout left. It was 0.5 seconds on the clock. He should have called timeout and drew up a play. You never know what could happen. They're this season and just the season in the past, when they lose, you could, even when they get combobulated as far as like their play. Like I think when they started the fourth quarter, they were 1 for 13, not scoring, turning the ball over. Their personality reflects the coach. That's their issue, right? So if you're going to keep Bud, and Milwaukee may do that, you're going to have to either bring in a very strong presence as a assistant coach. You probably going to need to bring in 2 brand new assistant coaches, offense and defense, that have either head coaching experience or have some type of experience where they can demand the respect from the players, so they can listen. Because it just, like when we talked about adjustments, that drop coverage with Brook Lopez was getting them murdered the entire game. The drop coverage, then playing Giannis and Lopez at the same time when they're playing Kevin Love at the top of the key, he's getting wide open threes. Bam didn't shoot it, but he could have been shooting that mid-range all game long. I mean, it was just like you getting open shots and open looks. When Brook will have to come up a little bit out the paint, they drop the ball off behind him. Somebody get a layup. It was a problem across the board, and it's like it's solvable, but you're gonna have to change the way your strategy. And it seemed like to me he was on the hell bent on losing the way he wanted to. But I'm gonna lose how I want to lose, and it showed. And we watched it unfold in front of us. Like I said, but they take the personality of him. They get very inconsistent. They don't make the adjustments on the court as well. For the life of me, we keep talking about Giannis. Where was Jrue Holiday? Jrue Holiday in Game 5 was 6 for 21. He would shoot these pull-up threes with nobody up under the basket. Just shoot them. No passing the ball. It's coming out to shoot the three.
He checked.
Man, why are you doing that? like, why are you making that type of shot? Like, I get if you got it going. You ain't got it going. Go to the basket. Give yourself some lanes. Move. Middleton is inconsistent. I don't care if you think the Middleton's the go-to guy at the end of the game. He's the most go-to inconsistent guy in the game. He's inconsistent. He was inconsistent. This series showed how inconsistent he was. He was god-awful in Game 3. And if he's the guy in the fourth quarter in Game 4 and 5, he was non-existent. So it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, they do need to make a move. I don't know if they can because I think something physically is wrong with them. And it seems like that knee is just not healthy. But it's just a multitude of things, man. And it's very disappointing to see this. To see a team that has all this potential that you would like to see, because Giannis and their team is a likable team. You could tell they work hard. They're probably a team of overachievers, right? They probably, a lot of those guys sit up there and work hard and do what they need to do. They're gonna have to make some moves. I didn't understand why he wasn't playing Crowder. Now you traded 5 picks for him. Why was he not on the floor?
Yeah.
Why would you go to Wesley Matthews in Game 6, but you ain't playing? Game 5, but you ain't playing Crowder. Why? Like those are the things that you just be looking at them like, what's going through your brain as a coach that makes you make these decisions that they are pending decisions that you're not making in the floor of the game. Why you can't outthink the game? Like it just seems like it's a struggle for him. And so for me, everybody else saying he be on the hot seat. Man, he was on the hot seat last year to me. I think they gave up game. I think they gave up that series against the Celtics. They're up 3-2. And they did and I think Giannis had played a hell of a game 6. And him and Jason Tatum were going back and forth, and they needed another score, and they didn't get it. And I think he could have used some type of way of getting his bench in the game or something. So it's just been multitude of games that I just seen that you just see these type of plays or these type of losses that it just needs the coach's direction, and he's not there, man. So for me, it'd be fine. It'd have been on the news the next day. But
so clearly
keeping them because you haven't heard anything come down the path line, so they must be keeping them. But for me, I would have fired him like the very next day. Like, bro, you gotta go. Like, I'm tired of seeing us lose. Like, this losing is unacceptable. And Giannis not getting younger.
Yeah,
he's not getting younger, man.
I know.
He's all middle to me. The next question everybody's been talking about. The question of failure is this season a failure? Key, is this season a failure for the Bucks?
Yeah, 100% is a failure. When you came into the season, everybody was talking about y'all getting to the finals, not getting knocked out first round by an 8 seed. For an 8 seed who had to play a play-in and lost the first play-in to Atlanta. So definitely a failure. I know what Giannis said, but yeah, you're not a failure in life, but you're a failure when you're expected and you got the better team and you only win one game. And so, I understand only one team can lose, but if you'd have got to the Eastern Conference Final, yeah, no, you know what I'm saying, because you playing Boston or Philly or somebody like that. But to lose to Miami and the way you lost, giving up 15-point games on the road and in your house, and how you lost is definitely a failure. So yeah, this season was a failure.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. You got high expectations. The overall number 1 seed, not the number 1 seed in the East, the overall number 1 seed, and you done missed a lot of time. With Giannis missed a lot of time this year. Middleton been out a lot this year. To still have the number 1 overall seed, show you got a gritty team. At the end of the day, bro, you got high expectation and you don't live up to it. It's a failure. It's not about saying that you as a player I'm a failure. Yeah, you're not gonna win every year, but at the same time, bro, you can't go out and lose to 8 seed, bro. Like you said, that played almost 3 games to get into the 8 seed. So and then let one player beat you, unacceptable, bro. It's absolutely a failure. Oh, no 2 ways around it.
I wouldn't say it's a failure. I mean, we gotta look at too. Giannis ain't play a couple games. If Jimmy Butler don't play for Miami and they were the number 1 seed, we'd be like, okay, we'll give him a pass. I'm gonna give him a pass on this.
But Donovan, he came back with a 2-1, bro. It wasn't like the series was 3-0, bro. Come on,
listen, bro.
It was up only one game.
He missed 2.5. He missed. He only played.
But when he came back, the series was 2-1.
Bro, I'm gonna give him a pass. So who to say if they would have won those games when he was hurt?
They could have won one without him when he got hurt. He didn't play the one they won.
But dog, at the end of the day,
they won one without him.
I'm going to give him a pass on this. I'm going to give him a pass on this one and say it wasn't a failure. I just think the circumstances and dumb coaching killed him. I'm going to give him a pass because he didn't play a multitude of games, which they did win one game without him, but they needed him for them other games.
And he was there.
He wasn't there for all the games.
He was there. He was there. I'm talking about after 2-1, he was there for the rest of the games.
Yeah, but I think they got out of rhythm too.
Man, they got out. Stop making excuses, man.
I'm just saying, they got out coached. They got out coached. But I got out coached. But I'm not gonna say it's a failure. I'm gonna give them a pass. I'll give them a pass this year. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if they would have beat Miami, but everybody knows Miami is a bad matchup for them anyway.
Okay, what that mean, bro?
So let me ask you a question. If Phoenix beat Denver, is that a failure on Denver part?
No, because
Why
you're
it's not?
playing a caliber team that
They,
can beat you.
they the number one seed.
But no,
Phoenix loaded, dog.
Phoenix got three.
They done lost to Minnesota.
Yes, Phoenix
Bro,
got two dudes who can go get 60.
Milwaukee and Denver been the number one seeds all year.
It ain't about number one seeds, bro. We talking about.
You just said, hold on, Keith. You
No,
just
I'm
said
saying
2 minutes ago
Milwaukee team was way better than the Miami team they played, bro.
bro, technically they not because they've been a bad matchup for Milwaukee the whole time.
No, if Jimmy don't go get 50, bro, they don't beat them people, bro. Jimmy willed that team to get wins.
Who was the team? Who was the team that always beat Milwaukee outside of Boston last year?
I don't know.
No, man. Miami got swept last year. Didn't they get swept last year?
You didn't listen to what I said.
Milwaukee swept them last year.
You're not listening to what I said.
Man, what are you talking about? Miami? Hold on, bro. Miami was in the Eastern Conference Championship last year. They played the Celtics.
About the year. Well, the year
they played the Celtics.
I'm talking about the year when they matched up. The last time they matched up in the playoff, Milwaukee swept them.
But that was 2 years ago, man.
All right, I get it.
But I'm saying, Miami always give them trouble. It's a bad matchup for Milwaukee.
Okay. Yeah, it is, but you can't lose to them, dog. You can't.
So, Donovan,
at the end of the day,
Donovan, did you have championship expectations of Denver coming in the beginning of the year?
In the beginning of the year? No.
Yes. So if they lose to the Suns, it's not a failure. We had championship expectations for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well said, Raymond.
Bro, that makes it a failure. So if the Suns beat Denver, it's what it is.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, we have no expectation of Denver.
None.
I'm going to give them a pass.
That's your opinion.
I'll give them a pass for this year. I'm giving them a pass because of Giannis didn't play the whole series, and I'm giving them a pass. That's why I'm giving them a pass. I'm not going to say it's an ultimate failure.
Shit.
You just didn't win. And a team that you don't match up well with always give you the problem, and they gave them the problem, and they beat them.
Man, one person gave them a problem.
Bro, I get it. But you weren't expecting Duncan Robinson to get points. You weren't expecting Struz to help out. You don't expect.
But Duncan Robinson ain't played all year. That boy riding on the bench.
Yeah, but he scored when he had to, when he came off the bench, or when he got the playing time. You weren't expecting that.
Dude probably had 6 points, bro.
You weren't expecting that.
All right, Don, it's your opinion, dog.
Listen, everybody resolves everybody's opinion. If do I think the Bucks season is a failure? No, I think it's disappointing. I think they had a very disappointing season by not winning the championship or getting as close as they could to get the championship. If you don't win the championship, it's going to be a disappointing factor anyway. I mean, that's what you go through the entire season for. I think it's disappointing because not a failure, because failure, 9 times out of 10, when you fail at something, that means you have to do 2 things. You didn't prepare yourself for it, or you exhaust all resources and everything you could do, you couldn't get it done. That's when it becomes a failure, right? Some people stress that can just be like, it is what it is. In this situation for him and what he was speaking about, I totally got what he was trying to say. I think people look at Giannis, I don't think he's different just because he's from Greece. He has a different understanding of a different level of things. But I think it was a profound statement because he's right. I mean, if you look at how things does, especially in basketball context, right? I mean, when you look at it's all about trying to get to that next step, and they got to learn from the situation. So, do I think it was disappointment? Big time. I mean, you're the number 1 seed. You play in the 8 seed. You probably outmatched them at every level. You got better players, probably. You should have better players. You have the rank, not the reigning, but but we all looked at him as the reigning best player in the world. We put that label on him. So having that guy who's been labeled as the best player in the NBA, you expect them to win that series. So when they don't go and win that series, and Giannis, even though he had 38 and 20, misses 13 free throws, loses the ball, doesn't hit those shots that we hope that he should hit, right? That we think he should hit. It is a disappointing ending to their season. But like I said, when you say failure, there's no coming back from that, which means they do have an opportunity to right the ship. It's called next season, right? You go out there, you work. Hopefully, you get the right combination of players. You get the right coaching staff. You build a strategy for yourself that you can be successful. I get it. He's absolutely correct on that. So yeah, but disappointing, man, that's a big disappointment. I mean, I'm pretty sure for that fan base, they may feel like it's a fucking failure, but it's a disappointment. It's a big disappointment for a team like this that has the veteran players, the savvy, and we all talk about championship pedigree. You think that they should have it? That should not happen. And if it does happen, maybe a game 7, maybe not no game 5 of a series against an undermanned Miami Heat team who struggled to score the basketball all season long, right? All season long. Who we all understand is a playoff Jimmy, but sometimes I think they didn't respect playoff Jimmy enough because they just felt like putting Drew Holiday on him all game long was going to stop the bleeding, but it wasn't. So at some point you have to change your strategy.
Yeah.
I think Giannis said something else I thought was very profound. He said that we were trying to win a championship and they were preparing to beat us. And that was a very, very clear understanding. Like, we out here playing, but we're not playing to beat the team that's in front of us. And hey, man, that can get you beat when another team is focused and they're driven and they can have your number. But hey, listen, they gonna have to come back from this, and next season gonna be a very critical season for the Bucks, for sure. They don't change anything about it this summer. You best believe if they don't go right for them next season, it's gonna be a lot of changes happening in the organization because they got to come against that luxury tax if they're not already in it.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
They got to be. I mean, Giannis making like $49 million. Middleton makes 40.
Yeah.
So and then
You
you got
probably make about the
contract.
same.
You got Bobby Portis, and you got to figure out what they're gonna do with Brooke. Brooke's a free agent this season.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a situation there fairly soon. And then you picking up other players. I don't know what Crowder's contract looks like. I think Ref Matthews is a unrestricted free agent. They got the Carter. They got a lot of veterans that are expensive. So it's gonna be interesting, man.
It's fast. It's fast how like sometimes these windows close so fast, bro. Like you gotta take advantage of the joint like ASAP. Like you can't be preparing 4 or 5 years.
No. You gotta win it when you're there. But for me, for the history, it's been a failure. Teams lose to an underman team, we always call it a failure. I'm gonna continue to call it a failure. When LeBron in the Miami Heat lost to Dallas, it was a failure. When you're the better team, you got the better players, and you probably won 20, at least 20 more games than them. It's a failure, dog. It's been there since day one, and it ain't changing now.
That's your opinion, so you can't say it's been there since day one.
I'm just saying that's what we've been calling it in America. We've been calling it a failure.
What you're doing is trying to make your opinion a fact, and that's an opinion. And your opinion is that's what you.
But have we been not calling it that in America?
No, you keep saying we.
It was I'm just saying.
You keep saying we in America. No, you keep saying we in America, and that's your opinion. That is your opinion. Like your opinion think that we think that that's what it is. It's not everybody says it's the same. Like, but that's your opinion though.
It is, but I'm just saying what the media have been like. All great players have been like, bro, it was a failure year on their part. Every great player have been. Even they come say it was a failure. We failed. We had championship goals. And we didn't reach out. So this season was a failure.
You can phrase it in that lane, but not everybody gonna summarize it the same. But I mean, for him, he may not feel like it was just a failure. He may feel like, just overall, it's just a disappointing damn season. And you go back to the drawing board and try to figure it out and work on your game. The one thing I hated that we talk about this as well, that I had a problem with, is really how people are trying to utilize his words for their own justification on how they feel about something or how they feel about failure. But that's how he thinks. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody walks around thinks the same way, right? Like, I mean, good examples when you talk about Michael Jordan. Good examples, LeBron. LeBron been in the league 20 years. He only has 4 championships. right? So
Well,
I mean, you look at it like that. If he's looking at if Giannis is looking at himself as an especially a legacy standpoint, because right now he got a championship, so he got to be thinking legacy. He's got to be playing for legacy. I mean, that's
we're
the
not
only
saying
thing
he
he's
was a
playing
failure.
for.
We saying this season was a failure.
But that question,
Nobody's saying he was a failure.
but I mean, the season's part of his legacy. That's just gonna be a
And
part of his legacy.
this season is gonna go on his legacy as a blemish. Like you
But do you
lost to
even
an
think
AC.
about do we even talk about the Cavs when they were the number one seed? They lost those two. They lost twice. When they lost to the Celtics and when they lost to the Orlando Magic, we don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about it.
They do. Because LeBron was the best in the world.
Man,
It's a
we don't
failure.
bring. Man,
It's
we
a
don't.
failure, dog.
We
It's
do
a
not bring
failure.
up. We do not bring up those matchups with LeBron when he
Yeah, they
lost
do.
those two
When
series.
LeBron disappeared in that
Don't
fourth
bring it
quarter
up.
against Boston, they do bring that up. When he was
We
in
do
that corner,
not bring it up. They had to talk
The
about how
media
LeBron
do.
have help. Most people, especially LeBron is. They talk about how he didn't have enough help. They talk about that team. They talk about the stars, the lack of stars on that team. We do not bring up the fact that he lost that. No, we don't. We don't, and especially today, we definitely don't bring it up.
They do, bro.
they bring it up, bro.
We do not bring it up. Nobody brings up that series at all. They may bring up the series against Dallas, but that way
They bring up the Boston one.
They don't bring up that.
He was over there in the corner and he didn't want the ball. It was kind of like Giannis got the ball. Dude almost threw that bitch out of bounds, bro. He almost threw it out of bounds. He ain't want no part of that ball. He threw it out of bounds.
They do not talk about LeBron in that factor anymore. They talk about LeBron being the number one scorer ever in the league. They talk about LeBron having on 4 MVPs. They talk about LeBron being a 4-time champion. They talk about his greatness. I mean, if you ever go all these words, they don't talk about it. Maybe Skip Bayless pulls that up that happened 13, 14 years ago, but nobody talks about that with LeBron anymore. And that's what I feel like who he's thinking about. He's thinking about his legacy. Yeah,
They always talk about it, especially when you talk about a GOAT debate.
Yeah.
That's why they bring in those situations.
But they're bringing that when you're talking about that against Michael Jordan, the standard.
That's that's a blemish on LeBron's legacy.
That's a different conversation when you're talking about GOAT status. That's not the same.
But that's what we are judging Giannis. We are judging Giannis on all-time great now.
That's not the same conversation as looking at this season and saying, is that a failure or not? That's a conversation. And him looking at his legacy and putting it in that perspective. That's not the same as LeBron and versus Michael. When we look at them two, those are two. That right discussion point is one resume against the other, and then you scrutinize at that point, and that's how it labels out. But that's a whole different discussion. That's a whole different discussion. You trying to make it a GOAT debate, then you pull up LeBron's track record and a GOAT debate. But if you look at LeBron's his resume right now, when are you gonna bring that up for what?
We're gonna find out.
For what, right? It's just a different perspective at this point. But I mean, listen, like I said before, man, the Bucks got to be disappointed. I know their fan base got to be disappointed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean, like they got to be disappointed, man. I mean, man, they got some things to figure out. Donovan, man, you got any final thoughts?
Donovan asleep.
No, I'm good. I mean, y'all don't put everything in perspective. Like,
okay,
some people think it's a failure, some people don't. It is what it is.
Let's get into the Grizzlies. Let's get to the recap of that, man.
Mm-hmm.
40 point. They got that 40 piece done to them yesterday.
Yo squad.
That was a tough. Yeah, I still like them, man. I hope next season they come out there. I want them to shots. Keep doing your shit, by the way. Brooks, y'all keep doing your shit. They may have to bring you out the bench, big dog. They may have to bring you off the bench. Hey, by the way, they may have to bring you off the bench. And by the way, listen, the GM, just quick plug. The GM for the Grizzlies is a kid right here. His name's Bradley Beal. Go get him. Go get him. Go get Bradley Beal.
I think that's their missing.
Bang, Bradley Beal. That starting three, it'd be great. All right, anyway, so we saw it. They got 40 piece last night. Tough way to lose. 4 games to 2. LeBron beat him. 80 came to life like he did in game 5. Just had a monster game. And the bench played well. And finally, after the 2-point outing that he had in game 5, D'Lo hit some shots and separate the team. So Thoughts, man. Key, start out. What's your thoughts on this series?
It went how I expected it. You know, Lakers in 6. I just felt they was overmatched. Felt like the Lakers have been the best team, one of the best team, well, the best team in the West since the trade. By not having they two bigs, I knew that was going to be a problem. Um, and you know, I just felt like the Lakers was the bigger team, the better team. Had the most experienced players. They actually got shooting during the doing the trade that fit AD and LeBron role, because now LeBron or AD don't even have to be the best scorer a night, any given night. It can be any someone who can lead the Lakers in scoring. They are a deep team. They are top 1 or 2 in defense. If AD healthy, he's the key. Like I say, how he controlled the rim. And I just have to learn, bro. AD is just not a one of those guys who's the man like a Kobe, Shaq, that's gonna go and demand the ball and get you 30. But he does everything else when it comes to the defensive end, controlling the ball. Because how many bigs gonna want to keep setting screens all night and ain't getting the ball?
Yeah.
And you just gotta realize that's what AD doing. Some nights he's gonna give you 25, but every night he's gonna control the paint. As long as he getting you 14, 15 rebounds, you want him to get 30. But I just felt like the series went how I took it. And I said going into the series, how the Lakers guards are dog. They have gonna fight you on the defensive end over the pick and roll. They're gonna get up in you with Schroeder and what's my man name with the dread with the braids.
Ando.
Man, yeah, they was throwing bodies at Ja, and I felt like they was gonna pressure him the whole series, and then it was gonna be too much when they missing they two big men. And I just feel like that was gonna be the key in this Lakers series, and it came to that.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. Like you said, being undermanned on the inside, but we don't talk about that when the Grizzlies won Game 5, where Bane had 10 rebounds, Ja had 10 rebounds, right? You don't talk about where they was mismatched on the sides about activity, right? And I think the reason why they got blown out last night, they're just taking too many long jumpers. Like Bane coming down like he hot, he pulling up down there from the logo. Like, dude, the key for Grizzlies to win the games that they won, they were attacking the paint, getting to the foul line, just attacking, like keep attacking. You never know what the referees are going to call, right? AD is going to try to block every shot, make the referees blow the whistle. And then Jaren Jackson gave him nothing. He gave him nothing, bro. I mean, he's good defensively, but his offensive game, they need to work on that. But I'm not surprised the Lakers won. We definitely said it would be in 6. Whether or not Ja Hand had a lot to do with his performance. But when you're a superstar, but nobody want to hear the excuses. If you're playing, you're playing. If you're not, you're not. But the Lakers' activity. I think that's why they won a lot of the game. The activity. You saw the activity last night. They reaching in the passing lane, switching on defense, like this, the activity, and they have the depth. And I think that's why I think they can go far in the playoffs if they play like they played last night. You're gonna miss and make shots all the time, but the activity in your defense that can carry you a long way. But Memphis, they got to get another star, bro. I like Bane as a third guy, but they need another guy besides Ja, because we know Ja gonna miss games. They need another guy to carry him, bro. You only gonna do so much in the regular season, but in the playoffs, you need 2 stars.
Man, like we said, the Lakers in 6. But I do think missing Clark and missing Adams played a big part. And I think the Memphis need to, like you said, they need to find another score. They need to make some moves themselves. Jaren Jackson, he didn't give you nothing. He had that one good game, but he didn't give you nothing after that. Bane, I think he can be a number 2, but I think he needs to go to the basket more. A lot of these guys have become lazy with that 3-point shot. They want to just shoot the 3 instead of going to the basket. And like you said, you don't know if you're gonna get a foul or not, but you at least should attack the basket. And that's where Memphis has success. And I think they don't fell in love with the 3 ball so much that they become lazy. That, to me, that's lazy basketball, especially when you got it going and you getting fouls when you go to the basket. I think Ja is going to have to adjust some things in his game, because you're not going to beat that floor, bro. That floor going to win every time. And you hitting the floor so much, you hitting the floor so much that every 2 or 3 games you're coming up with little nicks and little nicks. So you're gonna have to figure out how to adjust some things in your game to where you're not hitting the floor as much. You're doing certain things to get to the basket. And if not, your career gonna be short because of the floor and because of the little small injuries that you are having. The Lakers, they got to continue to be who they are. But I think the Lakers take dumb 3-point shots. When you up in such aspect, you playing lazy basketball. LeBron, AD, Schroeder. When you start doing, you playing lazy basketball. You're just being lazy because you're afraid to go to the basket. If you got to go into the basket, team to go to the basket. Now I do think that Memphis, like you say, they can go get a Bradley Beal. That will help them. That will help them. It's going to help getting Steven Adams back. It's going to help getting Clark back, sometime next year because they're going to need it. But also, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do so. I get you want to have this bravado and you want to do all of this and talk all that. At the same time, but you ain't beat nobody. You can put out in the first round. You can put out in the first round. Be quiet. Just play ball. If you win it, okay, but win when it really matters in the playoffs. If you ain't doing that, then you ain't doing nothing. It don't matter. So they gotta find some ways to get themselves back intact because the rate they're going, they're gonna be keep getting put out in the first round until they make some different changes within that team, and they gotta be more consistent because if not, ain't nobody paying y'all no attention. Who are y'all? Y'all ain't won nothing. So I just think that the series ended up how we thought it would end up. As to JD,
He said a bit easy series.
Hey, is this my segue? Or are you just gonna keep? You still talking?
No, you can talk.
You got the mic, brother.
So listen, at the end of the day, bro, I don't play the game, so I like the matchup with Memphis. I thought they can move the ball. I thought they're younger, they're more athletic team. I think they're just as talented as the Lakers. To be honest with you, I don't care about their trade at all. I don't think anything about D'Lo or the other dude, the Braves. None. I don't think the Austin Reed. None of it. I really still don't think. I think that Memphis just didn't play a smart game. I think their strength is attacking the basket, kickouts for wide open threes, moving the ball around, and the ball got really stagnant. I think it didn't help Job when he had that explosion in the fourth quarter in game 3 because it kind of came off like, oh, I can do this all the time now. And he got back to kind of playing isolation basketball. A couple of times he dribbled the ball tried to throw it back to his legs and back to his legs again and got comfortable with that. I don't have a problem with him handling the way something he handles the rock because I think even the game they lost in game 4 that went to overtime, it was a great play in the sense that he made a steal, threw the ball out behind his back, drew the defense to him, and got a layup with Bang. So sometimes I can see his style of play that it works, but it gets a little loose. It happened last night in a very critical part of the game. I think they were only down like 4 or 5 points in the third quarter. The ball, somehow he loses the ball at somebody's foot. It bounced back, and I think either 80 caught it and threw the ball, and they got a layup or something like that out of it. It was something very flukish, but it was just one of those plays where if he just would be a little bit more solid with the ball, it would never had happened. Bang definitely didn't track the basket like he was doing in game 5. He really was challenging that defense. Bang shoots a lot of threes when his mid-range game is really the most solid part of his game. I mean, it's damn near deadly. And so with that being said, man, they lost a game to a team right now that's surging. I can't wait till they see these Kings. Because I think the Kings are going to blitz the Lakers. But anyway, at the end of the day, man, you got to take your hat off to the Lakers for winning, Darvin Ham for making the adjustments, pulling the trigger at the right time with certain players. But I'm really interested to see can this team hang up because LeBron looked gas. They made one by 40 last night. But he looked gas in game 5, which tells me he cannot replicate a type of performance game in, game out. Right, the deeper the series it gets, the longer it's gonna be taxing on his body, and there's gonna be an issue. You gotta hope the 80 fell out the other day, last night. Last night he fell to hit the ground and laid there for a minute. That's becoming an issue. Injury wise, you don't know what he's gonna do. So, congratulations to the Lakers. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see how this train moves along.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes they train ain't high rail like in China. They're very Americanized Amtrak, and it's gonna take a while for them to get there. So we'll see. We'll see how it moves forward. But yeah, I mean, hey, they won. They beat a team. They beat a Grizzly team that was doing a lot of talking. But I love it. Keep talking, Grizzlies. All right, man. Let's get a discussion on game one between the Nuggets and the Suns. Key, start us off. Give us your thoughts on this particular series, and go ahead and give me your pick for the first game. Who do you think is going to win tonight?
I think this game it's gonna be a great series. Aiden gonna have to come out and play and have to stay out of foul trouble. Because we gotta start putting some respect on Jokic's name, man. Arguably one of the best player in the league right now. So it's gonna come to me how how Denver gonna defend Phoenix. Are you gonna do the Ty Lue thing, double KD, and let Booker play 1-on-1? Or are you gonna probably just try to double both of them, let Chris Paul or anybody else make plays? Or are you gonna just try to play them 1-on-1? Because we see once you double KD, he's still gonna get 30. And then now Booker going for 45, 38. When he playing against probably the third best defender, the second best defender on the team, when you're taking two people throwing at KD. So it's gonna come down to controlling the glass for Phoenix. But I think Chris Paul gonna be big in this series because I think he's gonna get a lot of wide open shots. He's gonna have to make those mid range, and in the fourth quarter, he has been showing that he's not afraid to take those shots and make those when they need game time buckets. But I got Phoenix winning tonight, and I got Phoenix in 6.
Okay.
Phoenix in trouble, bro. I think Denver has the depth. Now you're not gonna stop KD. You're not gonna straight up stop Booker, but you can make him work. And I think Denver has the bodies with Gordon, Porter Jr., and KCP to help harass them. Like they're gonna get their numbers. They're just too great of a scorers, but they have the body and they have the bench depth that Phoenix don't have. Now Jamal Murray got to give Chris Paul everything. He got to make Chris Paul work to where he's tired. And I think that's the reason I think Denver will win tonight, game one, and win the series. There's too much depth, too much scoring for Denver. Gonna outweigh what KD and what Booker gonna give them.
But I don't think they're gonna have Chris Paul on Murray. I think that's gonna be Booker. I think Booker gonna go on Murray.
Then Murray got to give Booker everything. Then he got to make Booker work on both ends of the floor. Like if they're gonna put Booker on Murray, Murray got to go at him. Like he can't let him rest on defense. He can't.
Man, give me Phoenix. Phoenix in 6. And man, listen, Booker and KD is cooking. Now, like T said earlier, Aiden is going to have to play better. He's going to have to be that guy to get right. And if he can stay out of foul trouble and do the dirty work, rebounds, get the easy layups, around the basket, and do those things, they're gonna be fine. Like you say, Chris Paul got to make the mid range. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a lot of shots, because I know they're gonna try to double either Booker or either KD. But at the same time, I think those guys has gotten settled in with each other now, and that's gonna make a big difference. On the other side with Denver, you got to get Porter. Porter got to be consistent. He got to, what you're gonna get with Joe. You know this, but Porter got to be more consistent. What's my man name? Who they got from Orlando? The other three. Gordon. And Gordon got to be consistent. They got to if they come to play, it'll be a great series. But I do think Phoenix right now has really got engaged with each other, and they understand what is at stake. And I feel like they're winning in 6.
I mean, listen, I like Denver in the series. Actually, I think Denver's going to beat them in 6 games. I think it's really going to fall down to the bench. The problem with the Clippers had a better bench than the Suns, but they couldn't capitalize on it because the starters, when Kawhi went out, you basically just had Westbrook, and that was kind of it. You know, you got to move people into the starting lineup that normally came off the bench, and that caused, you know, this caused issues with their scoring. The Nuggets are fully healthy team. Fully healthy team. And I feel like they're going to be prepared. Whether it's Murray, the bench players, the role players going to play a key factor in this. And even though Chris Paul had a decent series, because he still looked old. He still looked like he is on his last legs as far as like just an NBA player, man. I didn't see the Chris Paul, the Bulldog type of defender. He fouls a lot, by the way. I don't know why they don't call it. Between him and Draymond, they're two of the most fouling dudes I've ever seen in my entire life. I have not seen two guys who foul more than they do, and they don't call it. I mean, they reach, they grab, they pull your arm down, and they never call it. I'd be amazed, like, man, they ain't gonna call that. But I feel like he's going to be a defensive liability in the series. I just feel like this is going to be the game in the series where they can kind of expose him. I think the Clippers showed in game 1 and game 2 he was a liability. And then Kawhi gets hurt, and then things have to change. And they lose, 4 games in a row, basically. And now, you know, the Nuggets can score with the Suns. So this whole scoring thing the Suns were doing before, when they got away with it against the Clippers, they got away because the Clippers didn't have any more options. The Nuggets can actually score with them. So this is not going to be an explosion. And Jokic is going to be a clear advantage over Aiden. He's going to bring Aiden out the basket because he can't sit up on the basket. He can shoot the 3. So what is Aiden going to do? He can't guard the basket in this series. So now he's gonna have to have a problem with that aspect of it. I like the Nuggets in 6, man. I think the Nuggets just got overall just a better team with better depth.
Yep. But Jokic's gonna have the same problem because they're gonna put him in pick and rolls. They're gonna put him in pick and rolls with Aiden, and you're gonna have to baby switch or trap. And if you don't switch, and if you do trap, Aiden gonna have a field day on that dropping down to the basket.
Here's the thing about Aiden. I would gladly give Aiden that 12-footer, that 12 to 14 footer to shoot it because he's not consistent with it. He's not consistent with it. So I would gladly, before I let him just keep going to the basket, I would gladly give him that mid-range shot because he's not consistent with it.
But that's the thing when you drop hard, you got to drop and sell and punish the little dude who's switching. You can't settle for the 12-footer. You got to go seal him under the basket.
But here's the thing:
turn around and do the little drop down hook shot.
Here's the thing: he doesn't do it enough. He's not consistent with it. And if I'm the Nuggets, I will if he gives you 24, 25, 26 points, fine. But you can't let Booker and KD go for 35 and 40. You can't allow that to happen. That can't happen.
Well, KD gonna give you 30.
But Booker's giving you 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because he's playing one-on-one. So you're going to have to figure out, are you going to double team KD and let Booker just kill you?
Clippers would double team in game 5 and game 6. He was just rolling, and he's dropping 40 on you. So you got Aaron Gordon. You're going to have to get him on him, and you're going to have to stay on his hip. But you can't I would prefer him to do what he's doing and let Aiden get those possessions because you can live with him if he scores 26 points, right? You can get it, but that's less possessions from the other 2 guys. Somebody's gonna have to show me they're gonna be the scorer the scorer in this series. It's gonna have to be outside of KD and Booker. You cannot let these
playing
guys
well for the Suns. What's my man name?
You talking about Smith or
no? Been hitting the threes. He been Torrey Craig been averaging like 18. He been average 18 in the playoffs.
House money, bro.
But hey, he getting wide open shots, bro. He an NBA player. I don't like Charles Barkley say. Everybody in NBA can play. If you're gonna get him practice shots, bro, he gonna make those. He an NBA player. And Payne gonna come back, getting Payne back healthy. Gonna get Chris Paul some rest now, where he can be fresh in the 4th quarter.
We gonna see. I like that.
Man, yeah. You know, me and Donovan going in 6 though. Going in 6 with Phoenix.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We splitting that up then. You know what I mean? We going 6 the Nuggets. I like what they look like. All right, man. So let's get into it. We got into a little bit about Jimmy and what he did the other day. Let's get into the game tomorrow. Yeah, let's do a pick for tomorrow. Game 7. Suns versus Kings. Pick 'em right here. NBA playoff pick 'em. The only game 7 on the entire NBA schedule. This is gonna be some fireworks right here. T, start it off. Who you got and why? Game 7, Kings, Warriors. Who you got?
I just can't bet against the Warrior championship DNA, bro. Bro, when you trying to count them out, we have been for the last few years. They just find a way, bro. And I feel like Poole gonna have a better game, and I just think those guys been there, bro. They done been in the game 7 on the road. They done been through it all. You know, the pressure is on set. You know what I'm saying? You at home. Phoenix, me say, the Dubs, they got to take the crowd out early. They can't let that crowd get going. They got to have them, you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to take shots when you up in a game, but when a game 7, you never been. Everybody get tight. So you still want to shoot those shots. You wide up. You miss a couple, you thinking about it. I know what Steph gonna bring. He been amazing this year. Playing we ain't even talking about how long he been playing. He's still playing at a high level. What impressed me is Clay, bro. When Clay done got good at putting it on the floor, getting it off the dribble. You just can't say, oh, Clay gonna run off the pick and shoot. He can put it on the floor. Now I look for Draymond being himself, getting in people's head. And for Sacramento to win, my man Sabonis got to have a good game. He got to step up tomorrow. But the keys to me winning is just that championship DNA. And I think Steph and them been there. They done it. The Kings really haven't. They've been playing well. But a game 7, bro, is different. For all the marbles, Monk and them guys got to be great. But I just I'm gonna go with the Warriors because of the championship DNA.
Yeah, before the series, I picked the Warriors in 7. But after seeing Kings, bro, and the adjustment that Mike Brown made game 6 with, not starting Lynn, putting guy Lyles as a stretch 5, I think that made a huge difference. And I think that will be a difference again in game 7. I know Sabonis will play better playing at home. Playing Steph going to give you what they give you. But, Poole has been so inconsistent. Wiggins, he missing a lot of shots the other game. And De'Aaron Fox has just been steady, playing great defense, both ends of the floor. Like the beam. I think Sacramento wins it, bro.
Nah, man, we don't want your ass on our jocks. We don't want that.
I ain't on the jock. I just picking my pick.
On that, we don't need you.
He's switching teams right now. He want to come join you, James.
We don't want you riding our coattail.
I made a pick.
Go ahead, D.
Hey, give me the Kings.
I went already.
I give me the Kings, and this is why. The Golden State has
not
played well on the road.
No, we don't want you either. We don't want you riding our coattails.
Hold on.
We don't want you either riding our coattails.
Hold on. I said the Kings. Hold on. I said no. I said the Kings was gonna win anyway. I went with the Kings.
No, you didn't. We rewind that. No, you did not.
We go
you did
rewind
not say
it.
the Kings are gonna win.
Go rewind it.
You did not say the Kings are gonna win. I was alone in my own prediction.
I think the Kings gonna win tomorrow due to the fact that Mike Brown has made great coaching decisions at the right time. And I think the Kings team is, despite whether it's game 7 or not, they have shown great maturity. Like they over the season and up to this point. And I just think that Golden State, they've met their match. This team can match them in scoring. They match them when it comes to defense. And I think Mike Brown has done a great job getting these guys prepared for this game tomorrow. The game tomorrow, Mike Brown has prepared them for this kind of situation all year. And I think mentally, these guys are going to come out well. And I think they take Golden State down. I just think Golden State has struggled so much on the road that they lose whatever they got going on, this team matches it well with them. Whether it's physicality, whether it's rebound, whether it's going point for point. And I give it up to Dan Fox. Dan Fox, like, look, I got a messed up finger, but guess what? I'm out here to play with my team, period. We trying to get it done.
But Donovan, Warriors have confidence because they know they can go in there and get a win. They already got a win there.
But just guess what? The Kings got just as much confidence because they beat them at a game 6 on an elimination game. They went to Oakland and beat a team who have a championship DNA, who just won the championship last year. But at the end of the day, they went on an elimination game in their home spot, and beat them. And they ain't beat them by 1 or 2 points. They beat them. So why I wouldn't have confidence?
No, they should.
So that's my point in saying.
I think both teams got confidence.
Nah, I think the.
You think the Warriors are going in there with no confidence?
Bro, this team has matched them everywhere they could. And when you go beat Steph Curry in an elimination game on his home floor, you worry. You worry because you just said it. Wiggins not hitting shots. Poole's not playing.
He had a bad game, but Wiggins been big. He had a bad game.
Poole has not played well. Draymond had that one good game, but all around, Golden State is not playing well. They're not.
I think Draymond been playing well. I don't evaluate Draymond on points. I evaluate him on other stuff.
I don't evaluate him on points either. But this team has been taking it to them. Let me tell you,
3-3 down. They were down 0-2. They were down 0-2.
I know, but this is the thing. They have a championship DNA. They're not just gonna let them win because they're down 0-2. But the problem I have with Golden State is they beat you on your home floor in an elimination game.
So then Golden State. Golden State beat them on their home floor.
Hold on. But Keith, this is what I'm saying. Golden State beat them game 5. In an elimination game, in Oakland, nobody thought the Kings were gonna win because guess why? They had Steph Curry. Like if y'all want to get on Giannis, they had Steph Curry. They had the guy who y'all say was the face of the NBA, and he didn't get it done on his own.
He got one more opportunity, baby. You can't say
but this is the thing. If the Kings beat them, what you gonna think about Steph then?
Huh?
What do you think about Steph if the Kings beat them? Because
if they beat them, you can't think nothing about Steph, bro. He just won a chip last year.
But nah, it's year to year, Negro. This ain't no. Oh well, you can't.
No, I'm just saying. What you gonna say? He's gonna put a knock on his legacy.
Guess what? You know why it goes against Steph Curry?
First of all, they the 7th seed.
Bro, it don't matter who the.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
6th seed.
No,
they the 6th seed.
Bro, at the end of the day, you're the championship. You're Steph Curry. You're the Golden State Warriors. Y'all done won 3 or 4 championships in the last 10 years?
4.
Stop. 4 in the last 10 years. I don't want to hear that, bro.
I think they're gonna win. I don't think you're gonna have to make an excuse for them. I think they're gonna win.
I think that the Sacramento Kings and Mike Brown beat them tomorrow.
It's gonna be a good one, though. But I'm going with the defending champ.
He said, "Light the beam, baby."
Yeah, they jumping on your bandwagon.
Light the beam, I'm trying to tell you, cash me out. Cash me out. Soon that thing in tomorrow. Boop. Light the beam, cash me out, homie.
But JD, before you start though, me and you was the only one said they was for real in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You
said they was for real.
You said, I said, and I also said Kings in 7. I thought they would win 6 and 7 games. Yeah. I like, is it going to be a home and home win, or it'll be a situation like we're seeing now? Both teams win on each other's floor. It's going to be a highly competitive game. But I think Donovan's mentioned something that was very well stated, is the maturity of the team. We're watching them grow right in front of us, right? They're still shooting some of the shots that you kind of be like, why you just shoot that? But it does sometimes come with a little more confidence. Monk pulled one the other day, like last night. I was like, damn, I think he had just had a block, and DeAndre Fox dropped it off to him, and he pulled that thing. and hit it. But it was the confidence that he's playing with. It's the level of confidence they're playing with right now that you can just tell. They may have this team's number. It's a confidence, and you can't go without saying how Kurt is making all these adjustments. Kurt is making a lot of adjustments to beat this team, right? 9 times out of 10 in the past, Golden State has had the better talent, so they can sometimes go out there and just beat teams, and just through sheer talent and skill level. But now with a team who just has as much talent as they do, and as skilled as they are, they're just younger. It's something like they will learn on the job, and you can see in Game 6, even though they made some cautious plays, I mean some critical mistakes sometimes in Game 5, and even in Game 4, you saw they learned from them. They learned from those mistakes. They weren't just saying, "Oh, we're gonna make them again." They figured out now, okay, let's set it up where we can drive and kick, get more wide open shots. Trey Lyles, like you said before, is coming in. Maybe not. Maybe try to get Harrison Barnes going a little earlier. Harrison Barnes to stop shooting that jumper or that three and attack the basket, which is what he did in the first quarter more than ever. They got out quickly in the first quarter as well. So the confidence level and the fact that they probably told what's the center name again? Not say it again. Sabonis. Somebody finally got to Sabonis like, bruh, stop trying to bring the ball up and become a point guard. Relax, dog. Like he sometimes running down the middle of the lane, fumbling the ball and losing it or getting charges. Relax, bro. You can run the offense. Play through your strengths. And they just been attacking, man, and using. You're starting to see them grow. It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game. I wouldn't be shocked if the Warriors did win, but I don't think they're gonna win. I think the Kings gonna come out on early and they're gonna jump on them quickly. Of course, you got the Harvard champion, but I just don't think it'll be outmatched. I think it's gonna be one of those games where you start seeing the team shooting the ball very well, and they're gonna jump on them quickly and they're gonna put them away. But you got to give it to them, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys wasn't believing. You two did not believe that team when we said early in the season this team was serious.
They did believe it. I did.
And even in the next series, they're gonna be serious. They're gonna be because they're gonna have an advantage. They're gonna have an advantage at the bench, and they're gonna have an advantage at with the left. I mean, with the lead guards. It's gonna be tough, man.
Nah, it's gonna be a good game.
How y'all counting out the how you going to the next series, bro? This one's not over.
I said it'll be serious in the next series. But I'm looking at it. I just told you why I'm counting it out. I think they're gonna win. So that's why I'm counting it out.
The league want LeBron and Steph Curry.
Yeah, star power.
We'll see if they call it the hell of 5 fouls. I mean, if I'm Draymond, I'm grabbing all the risks because you know it. They ain't gonna call anything. If they want the league to do that, they ain't gonna call nothing. So
yeah, they want to see that LeBron and Steph Curry one more time.
Man, they don't need to see that mess. Man,
you crazy? That's ratings, bro.
Listen, let me tell you something.
That big ratings.
To me, I don't care about ratings. Listen, you call the game how it's because the team better. The team just better.
I ain't saying they're gonna cheat. I ain't saying they're gonna cheat. I just saying what the NBA want.
The NBA gonna make money regardless. They need to stop with that BS.
They're gonna get more ratings if it's Kings and LA.
Listen, at the end of the day, they're gonna get ratings because LeBron is playing. If they're gonna get more ratings just because the Lakers. If the Lakers play
but you add Steph Curry to the mix.
Well, guess what? Sometimes somebody got to go home, and it's probably their time for them to go home.
It might be, but I'm just saying you add Steph Curry and LeBron to the mix. The ratings.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you got the Lakers, period, you're gonna make money. You're gonna make a little bit more with having Steph Curry. But at the end of the day, it's time for a new king of the hill, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is.
You gotta pay your dues, bro. You just can't come do it your first year, bro.
You don't owe nobody nothing. That's the problem with people. Oh, you gotta pay your dues to get to the top. No, you don't. Your team just got to win. You don't owe nobody nothing. The Sacramento Kings done paid their dues. They've been sorry for a long damn time. They don't put enough money in the collection plate. It's time for them to get right.
I don't know.
I'll be shocked if they win Game 7.
I would.
I think the story would be very more compelling if you have Sacramento beating them and moving on and continue to move on. I mean, it's gotta be a youth movement eventually. So, it would be a compelling story seeing Sacramento move through the playoffs. I mean, it just and then what it'll do for that market, a team that has not had a Western Conference Finals game since Chris Webber was in the uniform. So imagine that.
One, JD. and a bigger one, JD. Mike Brown got fired, and he used to coach LeBron.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Mike Brown against LeBron. You know what I mean? Knowing that he knows LeBron very well, right? Maybe the younger version of him going matching up against him mentally with this version of LeBron. I like to just see what the young boy can do. De'Aaron Fox, to see what he got. Like once that finger's never gonna get better. So
Like
I
T.O.
think
said,
it's a good story point. It's a good storyline.
T.O. said, I'm gonna have my popcorns ready.
Hey man, exactly, brother. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have my damn pockets ready. So all right, man. So all right, man. So that was the last topic for the day, fellas. Man, we about to get up out of here. Let's get our final thoughts. First, let's start with you, D. Since you're on the phone, get your final thoughts so we can get up out of here.
Oh man, great show today, great conversation. Yo, these NBA games is gonna be outstanding. I love the series. I love the game so far, and let's keep pushing.
We do what we do. Thank y'all for supporting us, man, and keep riding with us, man. Another good one in the books.
Yep, another great show. Looking forward to the game 7 on Sunday, and looking forward to the game tonight. So NBA it's been a good playoff so far. So a couple of surprising teams and a couple of teams who we thought was gonna win. So I think the second round gonna be even better. So yeah, another great show. Keep supporting the podcast. And,
quick one thing before we get out of here though. Game 1, Knicks versus Heat. Who you got first game?
I'm going with the Knicks the first game in New York.
Okay.
Their energy gonna be crazy. Yeah, I gotta
Knicks?
Knicks in game 1.
Did you say Knicks too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we knew. Keon gonna say Knicks. He got the hat on.
No, I just think they're gonna win game 1. Yeah.
Ray, who you got first game?
I got the Knicks, bro. Yeah, Tibbs gonna make some adjustments defensively, man, to slow down Jimmy.
So y'all know Julius Randle gonna be out, right?
Don't matter.
I think they still got enough with Brunson. What's his name playing well? Hart. I think they got enough.
Okay. One more thing though. Y'all know that Embiid may be out for game 1.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
So that's gonna be tough to see how that works out, man.
It seems like every year, bro. It seems like every year Philly has a big injury, bro, in the second round of the playoffs, bro. Like every year, dog, it's something.
Well, the big injury normally is Embiid. He gets hurt in the second round of the playoffs every year.
Bro,
exactly.
So he may be out game 1. So just an FYI, man. All right, fellas, man. Good show. Ray, get us out of here, man.
All right, let's do it. We out.